if you can tell a bit about your background and the way that you were raised, because you have like some Chinese blood, and I don't know, German maybe, but a mix of these countries. And yeah, just tell us a bit about that and how that affects also the way that you're producing your art.
Well, yes, I come originally from China, and yes, made in China. Yes, so 100% Chinese, and yes, so actually I studied, it's quite interesting. I studied accordion in China, but the thing is, actually I love classical music when I was small, and also, you know, it's very interesting because the only things that can wake me up when I'm small is classical music, because when my parents want to bring me to school and they cannot, you know, wake me up, and they will just, you know, like playing the classic. At that time it's still CD, right? So it will just play the CD very loud, so wake up. And also, like, if I, you know, sing the live stream of the concert, like New Year's concert of Berlin or New Year concert of Vienna. So basically I will just you know, like just clean the room, and also quit all the people in the room, because I want to just very concentrated to the content and also the music pieces, to see how they interpreted the pieces. Yes, so then back to the college stuff, because actually my mom don't want me to study music. You know, music is not easy to make living, and so on. This is a story, but so she actually avoided me to learn piano, because her thought is like, once I learn the piano, so I will become a professional, because you have to invest your time to do that. But so she on purpose for me, like choose the instrument for me, which is accordion. And yes, and this and also it's because of like like China has a bit like influence from Russian, and my mom is also born in the neighbor of Russian with the northeast of China, so she likes the instrument. That's why. But still, I got national, like first prize of the national competition of something like that with my accordion. And my teacher at that time told me, like, you always not following the notes, you know, like I don't know if he means very ironic or something. He told me, like, maybe you have to composing yourself, you know. So at that moment I think, like, why not? Because why I should always following the paper that you know, like following the instruction of other people, what I should do. So at that time I actually, you know, trying to create something, but maybe I didn't met the correct teacher in China, because they told me the first step what I should do for composing is trying to do something which is sounds like Debussy or Mozart or Beethoven, which I think like is so hard to do that. And then I really thinking about like quitting this composing thing, because at that time I thought I don't have talent to do composing because I don't know what the Mozart. I know what it sounds like, but I don't know how to create this kind of style like him. So I almost quit to trying to create something. But then I doing some internship in the music studio in China, which is at that time is the biggest studios in Beijing. And suddenly I've seen a lot of equipment which is like made in Germany and something like that. And also at that time I realized myself is very good at defining the sound of if it's a good quality or not, and also like the vocal part is happening the center or side, or this kind of spatial stuff. So inside of me still wants to try what kind of things I will create it. And also I've seen that the whole classical music is the German, like Bach and Mozart is Vienna, Mozart, and also Beethoven's, and also the equipment stuff is also a lot of made in Germany's labels. So I think probably this is a good time to have a look why, the history music is happening in Germany, but the modern technique is still also happening in Germany.
So in that moment you decide to move?
Yes. So at that moment I want to still want to try what I can find in the mystery of why is everything happening in Germany. And actually my parents is very against my decision because my mom is a doctor and my father is an engineer. So both of them, they are not, they have no idea what, I feel like they want to support me, but they don't know how to support me. But I'm still appreciate that they want to, they still agree with me at that moment to have a try. And then the whole journey in Germany is begins. Mm-hmm. But still, this kind of idea that I want to create something still inside me, and I feel like that. I feel that impulse. So I have a try to the Musikhochschule Köln. The major called elektronische Komposition, and it's very funny because I hope we still have time to say that. Because actually, I don't have any composition background at that time, and also I don't know, the contemporary music how it sounds like, and the instructor or professor can't remember at that time recommended me to have a lesson of Stockhausen, the pioneer of electronic music, but accidentally I didn't find his music Stockhausen's music at the very beginning, but I found his songs music, which is jazz. I totally confused, oh really, should I compose a jazz now? But anyway, but later, fortunately, I visited one concert of Stockhausen, and that is also the very first experiences for me. And still, now, if I rethink this concert, still got the goosebumps because this is my first. That is my first experience to sit inside of a very the concert which is dark, the light is off. Why they do that? Because Stockhausen presenting his music with several speakers, and I am lucky to have the seat which is just in front of the speakers, because the music hall is normally like this, right? So the speakers always like a bit higher than if you sit a bit down. But I'm lucky like to have the same line with the speaker. You just like sing the sound walking from this speaker to the other, to the other, to the other. It's just like open a very new world to me, and I kind of know that I will be good at doing that.
Wow. Amazing.
Yes, and then I just prepare for the exam of the test. And at that time, I still use my iPhone to collect all of the sound, and starting to building my own library. And that is that is my first pieces to doing start doing the whole contemporary stuff things. And right, that is the beginning of the journey. So with this piece, I got Zulassung of the Hochschule, Musikhochschule, and yes, it's quite still it's unbelievable when rethink the whole journey, because because comparing with the composing experience in China, I personally think like the composing in Germany is more like you have to have it's like more design, it's more like engineering. It's more like you have an idea first, and then collecting the material, and then you have to think how it should be looks like, and then you just start to building things. It's not it's the creative part, of course, is important, but it's more important that you can finish building this the building in your fantasy to take the present. It's not about like what should be looks like what. It's more about how to realize your idea. Mm-hmm. Yes.
You feel that more here in Germany?
Yes, but I don't know if it's how to say it, überzeugend, which is because I didn't study the composition in China. Mm-hmm. But in Germany, I mean like the study makes me feel like I can use everything as a material of my pieces, and also because I've tried videos. I mean like you can also using this kind of procedure to make video art or installations or any material with any material, not just the sound material. So actually the composition studies in Germany is not only about sound, I would say. It's also is more fusion with every possible material that you want to. I mean, the most important stuff is what kind of idea or what kind of experience or what kind of input you want to present, and then use everything related to make it possible. Yes.
How is it trying to make a living as an independent Asian woman in Berlin while keeping the focus on your passion, like DJing, music production?
Yeah. Well, first, it's not easy. It's absolutely not easy. But last years, it's going very well. Especially in summer, because there's I don't know, like maybe people are very just think finally it's time to celebrate it in outdoor. So also got some event DJ stuff and so on. So I'm also a DJ. So playing some event on this celebrating stuff. But to be honest, that's not the my passion, like, because you have to hold back your your alien side you have to play some happy tune due to the atmosphere and so on. So yes, but last summer I also got a project of audible books, which is like, how to say it, hörbücher, like science fiction's children's hörbüchers project, which is also published by Universal Music Audios and Universal Music, and also on Spotify and so on. So actually, to be concluded, so in summer it went very well, but in winters it's time to maybe for your creation.
And so are you a full-time artist?
At the moment, no. I began with another jobs, unfortunately, like beginning of this month, and also I'm preparing my album this year's, which is I think, like, to be prepared my album with very stable mind and mood, I need very stable income, and I make this compromise that I have a very easygoing works as a daily time, and like 5 p.m. So I can forget the work things and start doing my own stuff. But still, I'm still learning how to deal with this kind of routine, because honestly, it's not that easy, because you can't be always like energetic. Even finishing an easygoing job, you need a rest, you need to spot, you need to chatting with other people. So actually we have a lot of need. So
that also relates with the other question, like, how does a day in your life looks like as an artist? And
yes, well, at the moment, as I said, this is I still learn how to deal with this kind of new routine. But I hope it's because of like the very beginning of my new job. So I still have a lot of things that we should learn about, and hopefully, like after 1 month or 2 months, yes, I can find like how to arrange times better, or maybe rethink this full-time job to a part-time job, because I really want to release my EP this summer. There's still some project, like some design projects from China, and also maybe in summer there's also other projects ongoing and so on. And let's see how I can do my best to make this time arrangement happen. Yes.
And workshops.
Yes. And also DJing and so on. Yes.
And so these are the biggest challenges for you at the moment, to find like this financial stability, mental space for your creativity, or
yes,
if you can say in a few words, like biggest challenges for you as an artist.
Well, the thing is, I study the whole, the artist stuff, right? And also I think that is also my pure baby. You just start to building something from nothing to something. It's still, this is still the project I really want to do, and the difficulty I'm confront of is that to make this project happen, you have to write a proposal, presentation, how it looks like, So I'm not that good at speaking. It's very huge before you're doing a startup project, but that is very important to get a project. So don't know. So maybe I didn't have a solution yet, but still I'm hoping that I can go back to this kind of area, which is doing some project in the very cool museum or something. And also I realized that as an artist, the things that nobody tell you in the school is you have to have a marketing mind, and the marketing, like whole online marketing stuff, and how to run your label album. That's also the things I'm not good at, and also the reason why I decided to do it now, because through an event I know a marketing agency, and we are really good friends. So we decided to apply for funding to support my album, and at the same time I can also pay him with this funding to let him make the marketing part for me. You are artist, but behind the artist actually there is a whole team to support you that you can be creative, right? So to build that team it takes time. Someone are lucky to get these teams very early, and for someone like me, so it's need time to learn how it looks like, how can I run it, if I could do that at the moment or not. So yeah, let me tell you a story. I mean, because like I said, last years I'm doing a lot of the projects of other people's. The good things is you have financially is good, and you got the money from the project, even is even event stuff and so on. But still at that point I kind of feeling what I'm doing now, is not related to me at all, and I thought I lost this kind of abilities or talent to dealing with my own talent, and dealing with my own stuff that I want to do. But in October, I've taken some kind of stuff like this one, and also a modular synthesizer, which is a clown generation, sound generation, and also you can understand as an instrument to an island of Germany, which is Hügen, north part of Germany. And it's lucky enough that it's very modern office, but in front of this office there's North Sea, and I can show you the view later. And there's forest just downstairs. So because in October there's not so many projects running, so I decided to put myself in that island to just go hang around the stuff that I really want to do. And every day I do jogging every day morning. And then also I have a friend who also has a writing deadline, so we made a virtual sessions through Zooms. Every 25 minutes we make a break and so on until 6 o'clock. So it's just jogging and then doing with your own shit, and then the evenings I can just sing the songs, not sunrise but sunset every day, and also hear the sound from the North Sea. It's really, firstly, it's really healing you so much. Secondly, that what can make me really happy, this kind of you keep yourself in this kind of creative situation, and also in the nature, I don't know, once the unforgettable sorry, just too long to chat, but one of the unforgettable the moment is that I woke up 5:13 or something in November, and it's a full moon at that evening, and so the North, you can basically see the North Sea under the full moon which is like it looks like you see the water on Mars, you know. It's so, yes, I don't know, like I really get to know me better in that month, and also like recovers from my creativities from before. So at that moment I know that you will never lose your creativity, but you need time to give yourself a bit time to get back this routine. And yes.
What keeps you motivated to do your art? Maybe you have like 3 big things.
What makes me to keep on doing all my art? That's a good question. I don't know. I just know that I can do that. And also, like after, you know, the project I told you before, Open the Door, you know, that's a project that makes me so exhausted, because not only I should deal with the whole scenario thing, like writing your idea, how you realize, how to how to make it to the reality, how to present it. But I have to deal with a lot of technical problem, like lighting and also the sound, and also doing with the live electronic programming, for example. And at that time, I know that the deadlines come soon, and really like last week, the only thing which has supported me to the end of the project is, after this project I will quit composition. Yeah. And also like we are doing the rehearsal, and my other colleague are doing something like, you know, violin, like instrument, violin with oboe, or you know, the same part rehearsal with something that really sounds like music. But I was doing like something like, okay, 5, 3, 4, open the door, because you have to do the synchronization with the sound in the ears, and also the action and what is happening, you know. It's more like, what I'm doing now, you know. It's always like 5, like doubt, like if everything is worse or not. But aside of this thought, like after this project I will quit, another my thought is, I'm the only person who can finish this project. Yes, I'm the only person, and I know it's almost finished too. And also I know that my opinion worth to present it. And also luckily after this project, I got a good feedback from the audience, because at that time I'm still like very beginning of the composition study. So I'm not sure if what I trying to present, if the audience got the same message as me or not. So yes, so I think, go back to your questions, like the very deep inside of you knows that if this is things you want to do or not. And I still got this message. Although I have to deal with the daily shit, so and the financial stuff that you have to deal with. But yes.
What's your biggest dream?
Right.
As an artist, it's this one.
Well, there's a residency you can apply for, which you can doing a project in natures. You know, this may be a museum in natures, or it's a residency, and you can doing what kind of thing you want. So my dream is actually, you know, doing some project in that kind of places, and yes, present my own project, like yes. But at the moment is my dream this year is putting out my album. Yeah.
What does it mean for you to be an artist?
To be honest, never thought about that question. What is that for me as a artist? Because firstly, I don't specifically take artist as a label of me. I just think like this creation, this part, as I told you before, is kind of like responsibility that I want to do, and this is make me very, very, I know that is that is my worthy, like why I born to the world. So I just want to, I just think like if I just can't imagine if I like completely quit production, like creating something, what that feel like. I can't imagine that kind of life, like completely without creation anything. That will be very horrible. So
it's related to creation.
It's related to creation, but not but it's not like I want to be an artist, so art is a part of me. It's kind of like I don't have a choice to forget this part, and that's it. Yeah,
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
How does your music allow you to express yourself?
How allow? Well, the thing is actually, a lot of people told me like, oh, Jiayi was very, how can you always keep happy every day? And how can you always smile to the other people and something? But I don't know, I think like nobody are, it's like nature's just happy to everything, dealing with the daily news, around the whole world. So I think the music, when I create something, it's actually very glitchy and also very aggressive sound that I'm using, which means I think I feel quite free to, you don't need to remind the how to say that to keep polite somebody, like for example, you don't need to keep always smiling in your music. You don't need to think if I'm doing something proper or something. So in music, I think I allow myself just to using the material that I really want to using without to thinking if other person think that it's beautiful or not, like without the other person's judgment. Like I'm the person who honestly present my ideas. Yes.
Do you feel empowered about that? Like the fact that you have your own voice, like working a full time for the dreams of others or working on your own dream? How does that make you feel, being like in control of what you're doing?
I think deadline is very important stuff. Like if you have a deadline, actually it's hard to set a deadline for yourself, but I noticed that if I have the deadline, I will try my best to finish the mission on time. Also because living in Germany, that's the first lessons you should have to learn. And yes, so I hate deadline, but deadline is really, it could hit the potential of yours to finish something. So yes, deadline is very, very important, and also deadline, you can through the deadline also training your time management, and also if you feel like if you make a mistake by this event, you know how to arrange next time better. And yes, I think the freelancer stuff, now I'm not full-time freelancer, but last years I think like really like through the freelancer, you really have to have a good time management, and second, actually, you have to plan the time to have a rest. You can't be always keep intensive that you could take this project and take that project. You have to know that you can only finish like 3 projects at the moment. So don't push yourself like to take the extra the fourth project. Mm-hmm. That's also the very important things to learn. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the last one.
Yeah.
And how have you been able to stay true to yourself in your art? I think it's related with what we were talking about before.
Okay, I probably could answer in that way. Because I tried the project that I make me not comfortable, so I know that if I feel uncomfortable, so I know that is away from
it's like your guidance.
Yes. I mean, maybe DJ I could accept that, to make the atmosphere like to help people to enjoy this moment. I could do, like kind of like service. I mean, that is probably also the good things related to your previous questions. You should set abundance, like which moment you are doing your service, you are doing your job for the other people, and which part or what time you are doing something only for yourself. If you're doing something for yourself, then 100% for yourself. If you are doing something service for the other people's, you know that your job is to fulfill the customer's need. And if you just separated this very clearly, and also you left the space and time for yourself to only deal with your own passion or needs or creativity, like left this part aside, I still have this corner for myself. And in that ways, yes, you can arrange it better.